Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm Raquel.
I'm Jake.
And this is Dontcha Know. I'm sorry, I sound a little funny today. I caught a cold, and it's very unfortunate.
You got those germs.
I got those germs, yeah.
Gross.
It's, quite, sucks, yeah. So, I think it's been because it's been like 50 degrees in California, and to Californians, that's super, super cold, so everyone's blasting their heater. And me, I'm like 50 degrees, oh, it's, a little chilly, okay. I'll put on a jacket, a thicker jacket, and that's fine. But no, so I'm going into the cold, into the furnace, into the cold, into the furnace, into the cold, into the furnace. So I think that's what caught me sick. Plus, it's been kind of raining here and there, so that's lovely. I also ride, public transportation, and I'm surrounded. You gonna put a mask on?
Yes.
You gonna get my germs?
I don't want to get sick from this podcast, so I'm wearing a dust mask.
I'm gonna give your computer a virus instead, then. So, we're gonna kind of make this a quick one. Let's go ahead and do updates for the podcast.
Okay, what you got?
Have we mentioned France? I don't think we have.
France? I don't know.
We have a listener in France now. Yeah!
Ah.
And that's about it for the podcast updates.
Well, bonjour.
I think we already talked about Michigan winning for November for the most downloads.
Cool.
So, congrats.
Congrats.
And then we are still gonna do that Rocky doesn't game with the Avatar thing. So that'd be fun.
I've seen your avatar for the Avatar game, and your avatar looks pretty cool. You got a good theme of blue going on, much like my frumpy jacket.
I didn't realize when I was creating the profile, because this is the first thing I've ever done, that the name that it was asking wasn't for my name, because I totally would have chose a different name for my character. So, oh well. I could change it, but it's like $8 to change, and I'm like, what? It's not really worth it.
$8 to change your name?
Well, it's like $7.99 in euros, and I'm like,
what the heck?
I'm like, I don't think I want to do that. And not only that, but then...
make a new character.
I know, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I should just make a whole new character, and then I can, choose the name. But then I was like, what if I don't get up to the water tribe? I don't remember the answers that I picked. End up somewhere else. Oh, I guess I'm making another character.
The water tribe would have been more perceptive and wouldn't have messed up.
So, they should have, let you, have one freebie change of names for those who have never used a word of something and didn't know that when it said first name, last name, that it wasn't talk about your first name and last name.
You see, Water Tribe would just go with the flow. They would just pay the money and just change the name. They're already here.
Do you want to know what my name would have been?
What would your name have been?
It would have been Rocky Off Water.
Nice.
I thought so too. Thank you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into, I guess, our lives. Nothing much has happened for me. I went shopping last weekend. I caught a cold, that's about it. And I went shopping this weekend. Got lots of stuff for myself.
Was it for Black Friday?
Yep, pretty much. A lot of stores were doing Black Friday throughout the whole weekend. So I hit up a couple stores on Saturday, hit up a couple stores on Sunday.
Cool.
And then laid in bed for the rest of Sunday. And it was like, why? Why, universe?
Why do I exist?
And that's about it. I did see a movie. Let's get your updates, though, and then I can talk about the movie. It's not too much.
Well, I don't want to date the episode too hard, but Thanksgiving happened, and it was a lot of fun. I got to see all my family. Well, most of all the family. It was pretty fun. Big parties and stuff. I got to go glass bottom boat riding, and you get to see down into the springs. They were like 85 feet down. Then just a bunch of water coming out of those. That was pretty cool. And got to see, a bunch of fish and stuff like that. Went to a little museum, went downtown to the square and saw some beautiful lights. It was a lot of fun.
Any interesting movies or TV shows?
TV shows and stuff? No, I haven't watched much this week. Watched a little more Friends. Well, watched a little more Friends. They have the apartment back. Spoiler alert, I guess. I mean, it's a 1990s sitcom.
You said that every time you talk about Friends.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of past your thing. No, I haven't really watched too much else. It's been pretty just social. How about you?
I saw kind of the ending somewhat, maybe halfway of Us. The movie's called Us. It's a scary movie that came out this year. And I wanted to see it when it was in theaters. And I was going to go with one of my brothers or whatever. And something happened. We ended up not going. And so I came home from... This was Friday. I came home from watching the finale of Titans, which was awesome.
What is Titans?
It's the Teen Titans live action
course.
show. And so I came back and my family was watching Us because my cousin had came over and they were all having like a family dinner and they were watching a movie afterwards and they were watching Us. And man, that was a pretty good movie. Like,
yeah.
I didn't understand. Like, I kind of wish I had sat down like and seen it from the beginning because it probably would have made more sense. But it's good and the ending of it has kind of like a twist to it. So I enjoyed it.
What's the premise?
I haven't seen the beginning of it, so I don't know how much of it is a spoiler of it.
Right.
But basically what happens is, I don't know the exact beginning of how it happens, but all I know is that they end up having like twins, basically. Like twins come from somewhere. I don't know where they come from. And they're killing their counterpart. So they're having to like kill their own counterparts first before they try to kill them.
So like clones or doppelgangers taking over?
Yeah, basically like that. And I was watching it and I just kind of was like, at first, when I first saw this, I was kind of confused because they weren't even, the main characters weren't even fighting their doppelgangers. They were fighting their neighbors' doppelgangers, but I didn't realize it. So I was like, so their doppelgangers are white? So like for white people, theirs would be black? Like, and then I was like...
It's the opposite.
Yeah, and I was like, at one point they were talking about how they didn't know or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, how do you not know which one's your doppelganger? You're a black person and you're white, your doppelganger's white. Like, how would you not know? And then I actually, like, because see, I came in the middle, so I didn't realize that they were fighting their neighbors' doppelgangers. And so then their actual doppelgangers came into play. And I was like, oh, so it legit is like a mirror copy twin. And I was like, who in their right mind would like want to try to be friends with a doppelganger? Because like, if you've seen any movies with doppelgangers, they usually try to kill you and take over your life.
You know what's an interesting premise to me is, you know how like, you said a mirror image, but a mirror image is not your twin. Because the image you see in the mirror is the opposite. If you have a freckle on your left cheek or whatever,
yeah,
like your face cheek.
These are actual like clones.
Yeah,
they're clones.
But I like the idea that in like maybe Twilight Zone or something, your clone does come to get you, but it's a mirror image, and so all your friends, you know, there's always that thing where they're like, oh, which one's the real one? Or they're like, oh, you know me, we were in 5th grade, we did that thing together, and then you have to find out who the real one is. It would be interesting if it was like the mirror image of yourself, and so they're like, wait, I don't know which one it is.
Don't you remember? I've always had the freckle on the right.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
Don't you remember?
Oh, I'm right-handed. No, I've always been left-handed. You never noticed?
Or if it was Zuko, don't you remember the scars on the right? And then have you ever seen the Zuko where they do the play where they're acting out the Avatar's life in the play?
I've heard of the play, but I haven't seen the scene.
And the Zuko's actor has the scar on the wrong side. And so there's at one point they're like, they hate the play because it's not accurate at all, and it kind of portrays them in a bad light. And so Zuko's like sitting on the ground outside during intermission, and one of the kids comes by and is like, oh, nice Zuko outfit, but your scar is on the wrong side. He's like, the scar is on the wrong side. This is the right side.
That's funny. What a detail to miss. They not have paintings.
So, well, that's the point, is that, like, have always been known to be, like, really bad, like, actors or whatever.
I see.
Actor portrayals or whatever.
Like a caricature. He's got a scar. We don't care about which side. So, we've talked a little bit about the avatars, which are kind of super powerful. And we've talked about, what did we talk about earlier? And we were talking about superpowers?
We haven't talked about superpowers until just now.
I thought we had something. I was like, oh, that would transition well, but I missed it.
Oh, well, sorry. I don't know which part you're talking about. I'm sick. I don't remember.
Well, would you like to transition us in, or do you have more?
Okay, well, let's go ahead. And let's start off with Jacob, we have to come up with superhero names for ourselves first.
Superhero names. Okay. I guess. Okay, let's do like there are those things on social media where it's like the color of your shirt and the last thing you ate. So I'd be like the blue crab.
Last thing I ate. I don't know what it was that I ate. Cause it was like an Asian like something. But I don't know what it was.
To be honest, the last thing I ate was corn because I finished the crab and then ate the corn, so I'd be the blue corn. And that's not very cool.
Let's do something like... Let's not do the color of our shirts, because that's common. So let's do like the color of our sock, and then something, and then your nickname. So like, it could be like...
I don't have socks on.
Okay, well then, fine. I guess we'll just have to do shirts.
And most of my socks are white or black anyway, or beige.
We'll just do our shirts then, and then something else, and then...
Don't worry, it's me, Beige Boy. Here to save you. Slowly, and after filling out all this paperwork. Maybe we should find out. I think that it has to depend on... Okay, so you always come up... So this is how it works. You're a normal dude, or dudette, you could be a girl, and you find out you have superpowers. And then, depending on your superpowers, that's where your name comes from. Maybe we need our superpowers first.
I was gonna be the red something Rocky. I was just gonna do a nickname, because I'm wearing red. And something in the middle.
Red Rocky. I don't know about that one.
Red Door Rocky. I don't know. First thing you see, Jacob.
Well, what'd your superpower be?
I would love to have Raven's superpowers. That's like
Raven's
the
superpower?
go-to one.
Like the
Teen Titans.
So, how do you define her superpower? It's just like some sort of like telekinesis, like psychic power spawning in objects thing?
Hers is basically... She's got actually a combination of powers. She is telekinesis, telepathic, and empathetic. No, it's not empathetic. What is it? What's the power called? Anyway, she can feel your emotions, and sometimes she can even change them a little bit.
Oh.
She can heal.
Okay.
She can not fly. It's, what's it called?
Levitate.
Levitate, yeah. She can levitate.
So
which kind of goes into play with her telekinesis.
Your superpower is you want a little bit of all of them.
I want to have demonic powers, basically.
Oh, wow.
She gets all her powers from her father, which is a demon. So, no, I just like Raven. I mean, if anything, if I had to just pick one, I definitely just want telekinesis. Because then I could fly. Because I could just control myself. Yeah. And lift myself up.
That's pretty good, I guess. I think mine's better. Clearly, the best superpower you could possibly have would be the ability to manipulate time. If you can stop time, you can win anything you need. If you're fighting somebody, stop time, shoot him in the heart. Send him to the moon. Need to solve a puzzle?
Send him to the moon.
There's a bomb that's about to explode. Just stop time. Make a mistake, go back in time. Bored? Go forward in time. Just move around. Become Billy Pilgrim, pretty much.
You do know that, like, it caused, like... Because they have this whole thing with Flash, because Flash can go back in time and forward in time.
Yeah.
And, like, it's this huge thing when he goes back in time to change something, because it causes all these rifts and, like, basically messes the whole timeline.
So?
And then eventually...
Make your own timeline. Why do the other timelines matter? Just surf space-time and do what you want. You're basically a god at that point.
Eventually, the the creatures that protect the Speed Force come after you.
Oh, bring it on. I'll stop time. No, I'll stop time and kill them.
They control time too!
Well, they're not real.
Anyways, okay.
Alright, so I think that would be... So I feel like controlling time is broken. I feel like the ability to manipulate objects, like moving through other objects, would be mine then. So, like, for instance, I could walk through walls, but also... I could, like, have bullets pass through me or something, you know? I think that would be the ability to... And also because, like...
So, basically, you want Flash's powers.
I guess. That's what
you're saying. Because Flash is, like, speed, so he could go back in time, forward in time, and he could go fast enough to where time...
I feel like Is Teen Titans Marvel? No, they're DC.
Yeah, Teen Titans DC, and Flash is DC.
And Superman's DC.
Flash can also move so fast that he moves molecules so fast that he can phase through stuff. Which is basically what you just described, which is be able to go through objects and then have bullets go through you.
That's cheating. I don't want to be fast. That's not a fast
But
thing.
that's basically what you just said.
Thing.
You said you want to be able to go forward in time, back in time.
Take it. So I get to be mine and I get to run fast? All right, I'll take it. I'll be Flash.
So...
if I can't control time.
Blue Flash Jake.
Blue Flash. I can't have my name in it. They'll trace me.
Huh?
I'll need to be like the Blue Jay. Clearly.
You want to be Blue Jay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so that's Jacob's superhero, and mine is
And I could even have wings, and I would just run so fast that I could just fly like that. That'd be easy.
And mine would be... I haven't decided yet. Something Rocky.
Red Devil.
Red Devil Rocky?
Sure.
Okay. Now let's not do that. Let's see. Red... Do. I don't know, Jacob. Telekinesis. This is hard. Red.
Maybe it'll come to you. Maybe you'll be one of those super...
Red Rover.
Send Rocky right over. Maybe you'd have to let the newspapers name you.
No, I don't want to. They give horrible names. They'll just call me Supergirl.
They'd be like, Devil Girl.
No. Little Red Rocky.
The Imp. You don't like the Imp, do you?
No. I'm gonna go with Little Red Rocky.
Little Red Rocky. Okay, cool. Blue Jay and Little Red Rocky. All right.
I think that works, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let's move on then. So we got our superhero name. We got our superpowers.
Yeah, don't you know every superhero needs their origin story? So how'd you get your superpowers?
How did I get my superpowers?
Did you have one of your Roombas? You got a Ouija board carpet and your Roomba summoned? There's the Ouija board, summon demons.
My powers definitely wouldn't be coming from, like, demons. I'm thinking that maybe, I'm gonna say some type of, like, accident that, like, was a bit brain injury. But instead...
It awoke in the other 90% of your brain?
Yeah. Which is actually a myth.
Yeah,
but yes, time. Let's just say that. I actually was when I was looking for articles, there's like a lot of articles that were saying stuff about how like a lot of like superhero stuff is like not scientifically like sound. And how like even Stan Lee was like, I am not like scientific, like I don't know scientific stuff.
Yeah, he has fire come out of his eyes. Oh, I don't know science stuff.
So, I'm just gonna say, so let's just go with that, you know? It woke in the 99% that we don't use, that
you gotta have your suspension of disbelief, of course.
So that's how I got my power, I was in a car accident with a deer in Georgia. Nice. And a deer antler gave me a concussion.
Well, it's like that thing they say where if you get a football stadium full of people and they stare at a tree and they all concentrate hard enough to make it burst into flames like it will or something. I don't know where I've heard that, but anyway. I would probably I think I would do 10-kilometer run every day and 100 push-ups every day and 100 sit-ups every day.
And you become One Punch Man?
I would become One Punch Man, and that's how I would become the Flash. I think that's
sounds good.
I think that's the best. No, I can't steal One Punch Man's backstory. What would I do? I would I think it would be some sort of device that I would use to... It would be like a bodysuit that I could wear that would, like, vibrate my molecules so fast, and it would be really painful, but I would get used to it, and then it would help me to just move so quickly that I could just become... It's like, you know how if you can run like...
So you're only fast because of the suit?
Yeah,
or
sure.
Or do you actually have the power?
No, I'll take the suit. I think that balances it out a little. Maybe I would love to have the power, but I like more realistic, and I feel like having a suit that vibrates is a lot easier than saying, oh yeah, I'm just magic. I'm just the fastest man in the world, and I can run literally backwards in time.
There is a story behind Flash. There is a story behind the Flash. Flash is DC!
Dang it. DC,
There's a story behind Flash!
Oh man, I've never seen it. I thought it was Marvel.
The Flash gets his powers because of there is a dark matter device that is, explodes, and when it explodes, he, is working in the forensics lab at the PlayStation, and
the PlayStation.
Police station, and kind of the explosion kind of causes him to kind of lose his balance. He knocks over a whole bunch of different chemicals, and he's also in the middle of like closing something down, so a lightning also strikes him. So the chemicals, the lightning strike,
It has a
and
backstory. It's a bunch
the dark
of random
matter.
chemicals and a lightning.
Yeah. So he just doesn't. It's not just magic.
I'd rather believe the suit, the vibration suit, the molecules pulse.
So
Anyway, what are we doing with our superpowers? Would you be a superhero or a supervillain?
Supervillain. No, I'm just kidding. I would probably, honestly, like if I had powers, I don't know if I would actually become a superhero or a supervillain.
I think before we even answer that, we would have to ask how. Like, what would you? So what I'm getting at is like, I don't think I would be either. I think I would keep to myself and keep it as down under wraps as long as I could. You know what I mean? I don't want anyone to know that I've got these superpowers.
Well, see, yours is a suit, though. Like, why'd you create the suit?
Because I would just wear it under, like, a cloak or something, and no one would know who I was. And I wouldn't really do anything. I would just, like, wear it, and then, like, just run out in the woods for a long time, and, like, maybe just, like, I don't know.
Well, that sounds like all the work that you put into creating that suit was, like,
just so that you can... Suit,
I don't know.
Why are you wearing that costume? And I'd be like, no reason. And he'd just be like, weird costume guy. And also, somebody got beat up, or whatever. I don't know what I'd do. I'd have to think about it. I just think I would try and be as clandestine as I could.
Okay, here we go. Here's an important thing.
Okay.
We're talking about suits. Does your suit have a mask?
Well, okay, so do I know that
Here's the reason why. Here's why I'm saying this. Because they have this joke about Marvel and DC. In Marvel, all the characters basically, all the superheroes have masks, basically.
In Marvel?
Yeah, in Marvel. But basically everyone knows who the heroes are, though.
Oh.
They know their secret identities, even though they wear masks. And in the DC universe,
but Batman's DC.
Yeah, and so is Flash, yeah. But Wonder Woman, Superman.
Superman has the glasses.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But that's his secret identity, though. But so they joke about, they're like, DC doesn't wear a mask, and yet no one knows who they are.
I think that my suit would have to wear a mask, and it'd have to be like a whole morph suit if it's vibrating. I don't want to like leave my eyes behind. I would need like a full suit, you know, with like goggles and stuff. I would need it looked like a fighter jet mask, you know. I'd probably need an oxygen tank and everything.
See, I would have to have some type of like mask in a way, I guess. I couldn't see just changing your hairstyle and then like that, like just covering like no one noticing.
Yeah, have you ever seen like 4chan finding out where Shia LaBeouf's flag was by using like the flight patterns of the airplanes? Like, yeah, they would find out who you are. They'd be like, oh yeah, this red demon girl, yeah, she's got a podcast, and also that's the other guy too. There are a couple of dumb bunnies think they can be superheroes without finding out who they are.
So, and I just like, I mean, maybe you could pull the whole like, oh, I just look like that person. Because there's always those cases where people are like not related to someone and they look exactly alike.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you see those all the time on Facebook and all that stuff. Like, even my dad, they're actually related, but my dad and his like nephew, because my dad's the baby of the family, like they look alike and they have the same name. Because he's from my grandpa's had his father before he met my grandma, and so he was Lauren B. Ofield, and then he had a son and named him Lauren Jr. His dad and my grandpa have different middle names, even though they both start with a B. So they weren't the third. He wasn't the third. He was a junior. He was a senior, and then my grandpa named my dad Lauren B. but with the same exact middle name. So he became Lauren B. Jr. So now there's 2 Lauren B. Juniors. And so someone was looking for my dad on Facebook, found this guy's profile, said, why in the world did you create a new Facebook? Because he looks like my dad, too. Same name, looks like my dad.
That's funny. I think that another big thing that every superhero has to decide for themselves is, do I or do I not want a sidekick?
Oh, yeah.
And I think the answer is obvious for me, that my sidekick would clearly be you. But suppose I wasn't around, would you want a sidekick?
I think I would not really want a sidekick. I think I would be okay with being a part of a team.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think I would want to be in charge of a sidekick. I don't know. Because, like, there's times where I'm cool with, like, teaching people, like, things that I know. And then there's times where it's like, it gets too stressful to be responsible for someone.
Yeah.
So,
well,
I guess it would just depend.
I feel like ideally your sidekick should be able to handle him or herself.
Okay, so I guess when I think of sidekick, I'm thinking of, like, Batman and Robin, you know, and he teaches Robin, and eventually Robin grows on to become his own superhero. And that's what I'm thinking of with a sidekick is basically a way to continue your legacy on.
Yeah.
So you would have to be responsible for them and train them to the point where they can go off and be on their own. That's what I see when I picture sidekick. I don't picture someone who just kind of does the stuff that I don't want to do.
You're picturing a protege or an underling.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like a partner. Like, I'm shooting left, you're shooting right. Let's go. We're equal. Bam, bam. Double punch.
Well, then that's a partner. That's a duo team.
Yeah.
No one looks at Batman and Robin and goes, they're equals, they're a duo team. They're a superhero and sidekick.
Alright, fair enough. Okay, I see what you're saying.
That's the whole reason why Robin leaves Batman, is because he doesn't like how Batman does things and he wants to become his own superhero.
All right.
Then he ends up joining a team anyways, but now he's the leader of that team, so it's different.
Yeah, of course.
And then he becomes Nightwing and becomes his own hero.
Do you think the Teen Titans could beat Batman?
It depends. If Robin's leading, there's a really high possibility because with Batman, he has a contingency in place for the Justice League. He has a way to defeat each person in case they were to go bad or something like that.
Yeah.
And he even has a way to defeat his own self in case he were to go bad. Now, if you're taking Robin, then Robin probably would know what the plan is for Batman if he were to go bad. So I feel like the Titans could take on Robin. Could take down Batman. But Batman might already know their weaknesses, though, because he plans in case they were to go bad.
And just pick them off one by one.
So it'd probably be actually kind of an even fight.
That would be an interesting little thing. Didn't they already do that with the live action one?
They didn't, no.
Or that was just Robin?
No, I don't think they've ever... They've done one with Teen Titans versus the Justice League, and they kind of fight against Batman, and they beat Batman, so, yeah.
Spoiler, that one's not a 90s sitcom.
Actually, you know what? No, Batman beats Batman. I think he, knows he's about to get taken over, possessed, and he, injects himself with something to stop himself from being possessed. So no, they don't defeat Batman. Batman defeats himself. Okay. Let's go ahead and I'm done. I have everything I wanted to say.
You're done. We have to talk about secret layers and transportation.
Dang.
Do you have a secret lair? What's it like?
Do I have a secret lair? I think a secret lair would be cool. I would totally be down for one. I would want one that was similar to the Batman Batcave, where it goes it's like a secret doorway inside your house.
Yeah.
It goes underground. I think that's the coolest. Superman's Fortress of Solitude's pretty cool too, but I think Batman's is the coolest.
I like the idea of something hidden in plain sight. So it's like the idea of you just go down you're walking in the middle of the city and you go down this one little tiny alley that nobody really pays attention to and everybody walks by. Then you look left and right and you tap a brick and then the door slides open and you go in there. I like that sort of thing. I think that would be,
that's cool too.
What I'd want. Or a manhole that you stand on and it circles and slides you down. That would be cool. I like that sort of stuff. Transportation, I wouldn't need it because
I wouldn't need it either.
I'm so fast and
I levitate.
But I feel like it would be cool to have a really cool superhero car. And since I'm so fast, I could launch out of the car and it'd give me a head start.
You might need something that could at least do flying wise, maybe.
Yeah, I could do that.
That's probably the transportation you would need. 'Cause you'd be faster than anything that's driving. But you might need something to fly.
I would need something because, even though I can vibrate time and speed up, I don't want to have to run. I'm still going to
always
exhaust
run, yeah.
myself. I need a car that I can vibrate and it goes into the freeze time thing and I could just drive around anyway. And so imagine I'm driving and I hit the button and the car vibrates and traffic just stands still and I could just go around traffic. That's what I need. That's the transportation I need.
I would ride a bike.
A bike?
I wouldn't need to, because I can levitate myself. Like a motorbike. I don't know how to drive motorcycles, but I think that would be cool, because it'd be easy, because it's easier to go in and out of traffic with a motorcyclist.
That would be pretty good, and it'd look cool when you do a wheelie and jump off a car and then, like, tackle the bad guy or something like in the movies, you know?
And I have telekinesis, so I could, like... And if I'd, like, overshoot it, I could stop myself in midair. Bring myself back.
Wow.
And I don't need, like, rocket launchers or anything on the car. I can just, like, launch out, like, stuff on the side.
Nice.
The street. And other cars.
That's pretty good.
And then I can fly. Well, I can levitate myself, so I don't need, like, an actual air transportation. Yeah, so I would do a motorcyclist.
That's pretty good. Can't argue with that. I think that's just about all I got. We didn't say Don't You Know all that much.
Yeah, Don't You Know DC rules?
Jeez. I was dogging on the Flash, attributing it to Marvel. That's funny.
I don't know. Jacob. So disappointing. You have all these things for these superheroes. You're like, they need to do this. Like, what do you need for this? What do you need for this? But you don't even know, like, which universes the superheroes belong to.
You know, realistically, I don't need all that stuff. My only superpower needs to be a 9mm handgun. That's all I need to make moves in this world.
Now we're talking Red Hood here.
Red Hood?
Red Hood has guns, and he, like, kills the bad guys. He doesn't capture them, he kills the bad guys.
Yeah, so that's a whole other discussion, is like, capturing versus just killing them off. And that's a big deal with, like, the anti-hero and all that.
Yeah, I think, see...
It depends.
That's the whole point of Injustice, the game, Injustice, is that Superman, I think what happens is Lois Lane gets killed by the Joker or something like that. And so, basically what happens is Superman has decided that he is going to be judge, juror, and executioner. And so he kills the criminals. And so that becomes the split between the superheroes, where some of them don't believe they should take the law that far, that they should just capture and let justice do its own thing. And for me, I lean more towards Superman's viewpoint, honestly, with killing the criminals. I don't know. I just don't have. That's just that
one movie. He doesn't normally do that.
No, he doesn't. It's not a movie. It's the game.
Oh, my bad.
And I think it is based off of the comic book, though. I think there's a comic book that talks about it. I mean, you do have the occasional exceptions, and that's what makes it kind of hard, is that everything has exceptions, and you have to try to make a law that is fair overall, not for each individual case.
The only problem is the federal government is going to pursue you, because that is not...
They're going to pursue me either way because of the vigilante.
Well, yeah.
And even then, in some cases... Some lawyers are able to pull the whole vigilante thing and get cases thrown out of court. So you could capture someone, stop them, and then they get away and walk away scot-free because you're the one that captured them and not law enforcement. So what are you doing if you're capturing these bad guys and they're just going back onto the street?
Well, it doesn't matter what I do because I didn't do anything. I wasn't their officer. I have no idea what you're talking about. The guy, what do you mean I stopped time and ripped this guy apart? No, officer, that's impossible. You're crazy. Please stop harassing me.
And so that's the point, yeah. So, like, you know, it just depends. Because people can change and blah, blah, blah. But there's some people that just don't change. Like the Joker. Just doesn't change.
Imagine being in a jail cell for 50 years, bored, miserable, you hate yourself, you're full of regret, and your whole life stripped away. That's almost a fate worse than... execution. This is getting kind of heavy for this topic, though. We're supposed to be superheroes.
Okay, well, let's end on this one typical discussion that always happens when talking about superheroes, I feel like. Or at least superhero powers. And so I feel like you might be able to guess what it is. Then take a guess. That's the typical, everyone always has to, like, this is a question they always ask when it comes down to superpowers.
Cape or no cape?
No, but that's a good discussion. I would like cape.
I'm going to say no cape. Cape would not work. I'm running at Mach 50 billion.
Yeah.
I'm running
for me, I'd be levitating. I can't
use a cape.
Supposedly, cape is good for aerodynamics, and since I'd be levitating, it would probably benefit me. Anyways, okay, so, no, what the question is...
They would look cool, though. They do look cool.
They do look cool. And with Supergirl, what they do is they actually teach her how to use the cape as, like, an extension to fight. So you take it and wrap it around your opponent and stuff like that. So she'll, like fly over them or do, like, a flip over them and then turn around, take the cape and, like, wrap them with it. So, a lot of times you have it and you're not, like, it's just kind of waving around as part of your costume. And you're always getting caught with it. And so this teaches her actually how to move around and like actually use it as a extension of herself, which I think is what a cape should be. Anyways, so the question is, flight or invisibility?
Flight or invisibility? Okay. Flight seems to be the obvious answer, but invisibility is definitely has its uses. I think flight is cool as a gimmick, but it's probably going to get you in trouble, and you're probably going to get limited, and it's probably going to like get you in trouble. Whereas invisibility is a lot less noticeable. Like, you could be invisible for a lot longer than you could be flying. Because like if you start flying, I live near an Air Force base. It's going to not be cool. It's going to get me like shot at by F-15s, you know? And that's not something I want. Whereas if I'm invisible, yeah, I could get away with a lot more. I think I would choose invisible as practical. In my real world superpower, I think I would go invisible. Which is boring.
Yeah.
But I think that's my rationale. What do you think?
So, it's funny. Okay, so one of the things that made me remember this is Shazam. They talk about it. And the guy says that most people choose flight because they don't want to be judged for picking invisibility.
Why would I care?
Well, because you wait first. Anyways, so they did apparently in the movie they talk about how someone did a study in people when they're being able to choose anonymously, they pick invisibility.
Really?
So it's funny that you picked invisibility.
No, I'll do it on the record. I don't care.
I would agree with your rationale. I think flight would be really cool, and I think it'd be cooler than invisibility. But it is, like you said, very hard. You couldn't just you couldn't just fly and it'd just be, that's it, you just fly. Because you also have to think, I mean, if you're flying, especially with the speed that you're flying or whatever, like, unless you are invincible too, like, your skin isn't gonna, is gonna be so messed up.
Yeah, for sure.
It's gonna hurt.
Yeah, it's
gonna be cold.
Yeah, it's gonna be miserable.
You can't just have only flight. You have to have some other stuff to actually be capable of flying without it, causing harm to you.
Yeah, plus, you misjudge one landing, and you're toast.
Yeah, and I mean, that's all assuming that you're flying high, but, why would you want to fly low to begin with? Oh, I'm just gonna glide along this road.
Flying would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the other hand on invisibility is that most of the time when it comes down to invisibility powers, it doesn't include your clothes.
I have heard that.
So you have to get naked, and that in itself is super awkward.
So once you learn that, you just plan. You leave a change of clothes in a duffel bag somewhere at the end of your mission or whatever, and you just put it on and walk out like the Invisible Man.
So, yeah, that would involve you also not being able to go too far from wherever you're putting your clothes at. Because,
why not?
Once you
stay
because think about it. If you're because you go, okay, so you can't drive a car.
Why
so
not?
You could, because you're invisible.
You put on a hat or a hoodie. Yeah, it would be tough. You'd have to do it at night or something. Get real tinted windows.
Yeah, and so you're naked, and you have to put your clothes somewhere, and you can't really drive.
You get a right-hand drive car with a mannequin in the left-hand drive seat.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be driving at night for that kind of thing. And so you're going, and you don't want to walk too far because you have to walk all the way back. And then after fighting crime or whatever you're doing, you're gonna be tired, and then you gotta walk 5 miles to where your clothes are at.
I wouldn't be fighting crime, though. That would be strictly for personal stuff. That sounds really sketchy, me saying me being invisible is strictly for personal stuff. I mean, I would just set up heists, you know? You'd be like a robber extraordinaire. It would be really easy to live. But that's unethical, of course.
Okay, so that's all I have for that.
Yeah, me too.
I think so.
I think that's all cool. I got.
That was not a short episode, but that's alright. Maybe once I cut it down, it will be. I had a lot of interruptions.
You should have to get rid of all that junk we talked about, all your silly stuff.
No, get rid of everything you say, because you're boring.
Rid of everything you say, because you're boring.
Anyways, okay. Hey guys, thanks for listening to us. We hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed my funny voice, because I'm pretty sure it sounded very funny. And don't forget, wait, we don't say don't forget anymore, sorry. Please subscribe and share and send us questions. If you want to know more about Jacob, send us some questions about Jacob. If you want to know more about me, send some questions, maybe we'll answer them.
I have a question about you. What's your superpower? What would you choose, and what would you do with it?
I was kind of confused. I thought you were talking to me. I was like, I just told you what my superpower would be.
No.
But he's talking about you, the audience. You can send us a tweet at don'tyouknowpod, or you can send us an email at don'tyouknowpod@gmail.com.
DONTCHA. No apostrophe. I know the grammar's, it twinges my eye, but doesn't work in a Twitter tweet thing.
And I also post it in the description, so you guys can always send us an email that way. So, until next time, guys, see ya!
See ya! Freeze the time!
Freeze the time!